Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to Three Guys Talk About Football. I forgot the name of the show for like a brief second. Okay, there it is. All right, cut. Can I just say I forgot? Nick, stop! I swear to God. Can I just say that I forgot Monday Night Football even happened last night?
I almost forgot too, actually.
Pretty
But
sure everyone did.
it ended up being a pretty decent game at the end of the day.
Yeah. The barn burner between two storied franchises.
Oh, legit. Like it was a pretty good game. Like it came down to literally the end of the game, the last drive. Eli led them down the field and scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
and won the game.
I'm pretty happy about that, considering I was going up against Odell Beckham Jr. and I lost by 0.18 in our fantasy squad. Rob.
Well, I mean, he did score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, and I know that the last touchdown was not to Beckham, but I'm still mad about it. 0.18, Coach. 0.18 points.
That is
you
pretty
didn't
rough.
Pick up the Bears kicker to hit 4 straight field goal posts. Very, very solid kicking there.
No, but I did decide to be Mr. Smart Guy, and I started the Indianapolis defense over the Chicago Bears defense because I quote, did not want one of my players going up against one of my defense.
Well, all right.
Pretty happy about that.
To start everything out, I'll go first since my team actually won.
Yeah, how about those Packers, Coach?
The Packers looked great, finally. Granted, they actually didn't look bad the previous weeks. It was just we fumbled away everything. And finally, we got to play a team that wasn't, in like the top 5. So we got to play the Dolphins, and wow, that was very fun. I wish we could play the Dolphins every week.
Every time, yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I love playing the Dolphins.
Oh yeah. We'll get to the Jets. Don't worry, Rob.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get to the Bucks too.
Aaron carried us. Aaron Jones.
Yep.
All aboard the Jones train. Finally, Mike McCarthy was like, this Aaron Jones guy averages 7 yards a carry. Maybe I should run the ball some more with him. So turns out he did, and he ran for 150-something yards and 2 touchdowns. That's not bad. Not too bad.
9.7 average, by the way.
It's all right. It's like
it was. They showed the stat. We were averaging like top 3 in yards per carry, top 3 in rushing yard average, and then like 28th in rushing attempts. It was like it was blowing my mind. I was like, why? Just why?
I showed you. I linked you. I don't know if you ever ended up watching it, but that Brett Coleman guy who does film room videos on YouTube made a Packers video, and he showed all those stats. How you guys were like last in rushing attempts, basically, but like almost first in average yards per rushing play.
That's ridiculous.
And like it really did feel like the Packers just needed a just run lol forehead. Like it's just like it actually just run the ball. You can do it. It turns out you can do it.
And when you run, it opens up the pass. It makes it all easier. It's like,
I mean, A-Raj didn't have that impressive of a day as far as stats are concerned, Coach. No. I mean, 199 for 2. It's still good. I mean, I'd kill to have a touchdown, but
I'd like 199 for 2.
That's the thing is like he didn't really have to. Well, previously this would happen, but then we wouldn't run the ball, and so I'd be like, we didn't do anything. So now at least running the ball, we're like, hey, something's happening. And so just Mike McCarthy likes to do this thing where he runs Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones gets like consecutive giant chunks of yards, like up 7 yards, up 10 yards, up 6 yards. And you're like, all right, just keep running. He's like, what if we do 3 straight passing plays? And I'm like, no, why don't we just keep running it? They can't stop it. And they're like, yeah. And so, or his other favorite thing, he's like, all right, Aaron Jones, big runs. Let's put in Jamal Williams now. And I'm like, why? And then he gets 2 yards. And I'm like, all right, okay, good. And then he used to, before Montgomery got cut, he would also bring in Montgomery to also get 2 yards. And it was like, it is like the equivalent of just the Cowboys being like, hey, what if instead of running Ezekiel Elliott, we just don't run Ezekiel Elliott? It's like, and then finally this week, he was like, all right, let's use Aaron Jones. And then I was like, oh, there you go. So that happened. Our defense played pretty well. We're actually tied for first in sacks. I didn't even know that. Kyle
crazy.
Fackrell was getting sacks. Dude, Raven Green, that guy is an awesome name. He had
26-yard average.
Yeah, he almost picked off a pass. He had a knockdown. He had a fake punt run. He had a sack, and he did something else. And I was like, dude, this guy's got an awesome name, and he should just be our new safety. Raven Green.
Raven Green. That is a dope name.
Yeah, Raven Green. And so that on top of Jair Alexander being a beast, and I mean, it was a solid game. So I was like, hey, good job. We didn't lose to the Dolphins, which is always good.
And your boy Devontae Adams catching 2, coach.
Yep,
Targeted
Adams.
7 times, caught 4, 2 of those touchdowns.
Yep.
Devontae Adams is really good.
He's
He's
really
legit
good.
like a top 5, top 10 wide receiver. Like he's
I think so.
really good.
Yeah.
And then Valdez Scantling coming up big again. He's like Aaron Rodgers' new up and coming favorite target. And he's actually pretty solid. So overall,
Yeah, he's quite good.
yeah.
Coach
and-
Crendor, how do you feel about the fact that even though you beat the Dolphins, they still have more wins than you, Coach Crendor?
Well, we'd probably also have all those wins if we played in the, if we played in the AFC East over there.
But don't forget about your
about that, mister.
your one tie, Coach.
No. Listen. All right. And we'd also have that if we just didn't, have the referees screwing us over the first few weeks. Aside from that, it's great. And Mercedes Lewis had a 30-yard catch, dude. He's the sleeping horse of the Packers right now. I'm telling you.
All these freaking
Mercedes Lewis.
sleeping horses.
So yeah, great game overall. Packers, big game coming up this week against the Seahawks. Legit playoff game where if they win, we get the advantage over the Seahawks for the wild card. So it's actually really important.
Yeah, that's a big game.
So yeah, maybe Thursday night football we worth it this week. That'd be great.
I wonder what it's like having important games in November.
It's pretty fun, kind of stressful. Speaking of,
That's all right. That's good. On the really quickly here, just a programming note: Bear Taffy not joining us. So it's just 3 guys again, and all 4 of us did pick the Packers. And then again, thank you to Hippo Nora, who finally spelled my name right. Finally, only took him 10 weeks. Good job.
That's good.
But yeah, all 4 of us picked the Packers to win.
Which, by the way, speaking of Bear Taffy, we'll cover the Patriots real quick. How about that Titans over the Patriots game?
That is pretty crazy.
I told you, dude. Tightened up my
should not-
picks.
Should not have been rewarded with that.
Yeah, you really should not have.
I almost made my lock of the week that game, and I wish I had. That would have been the greatest.
I made it my lock of the week, except I picked the wrong damn team.
I told you, dude.
Bear.
I knew it. I knew the Titans were going to win that
I tried
game.
to goad you into it, too. I tried to goad you into picking that as your lock.
I missed out. And instead
I was the only one man
locked
enough to make
lost.
it was the wrong team.
Well, I just want to hear Rob talk about the Jets. So let's hear about the
Yeah.
disaster that was.
Take it away, analyst
The Jets
Rob.
game.
Talking about the Jets hosting the Buffalo Bills.
You know what's funny is
The Jets.
when I came into at the very beginning of this podcast, just a couple of minutes ago, right? I came in and I felt that game sucked, but whatever. It's a Jets thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I had mostly kind of gotten over it. But then, as you guys were both talking, I remembered what actually transpired in that game, and I remember how I felt. And you know what? Past Rob was right. Todd fucking Bowles should have been fired at halftime.
Yeah.
At halftime. And I'm honestly, because, I took a couple days to cool off. I'm back. I'm thinking about the game. Yeah, I still feel that way now. Actually, I straight up do. So to put it into perspective, I'm really not just because there's a lot of, when you talk about football, there's a lot of knee-jerk reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you a couple of stats here. Okay.
Okay, Rob has a stat. Here we go.
Yeah, here's a stat for you. The Jets had 1 total yard in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
1 total yard in the first quarter.
Yeah, I made sure to message CBS Sports about the misprint because they had YDS on that. It should just be YD.
We had 1 yard. And then if you wanted to look at the stats like for the whole first half, it doesn't get much better, to be honest with you. We couldn't run. We couldn't we couldn't throw. Here, let's get some more stats for you, huh? Okay, Matt Barkley hasn't thrown a pass since 2016. Who does he throw a touchdown to this game? Well, that explosive Bills offense here. He threw a touchdown pass to his left tackle.
Dion Doc.
Tackle.
Dion
A tackle scored on us. An offensive lineman scored a touchdown on us, and it wasn't even Drew Brees throwing it to him. It was Matt fucking Barkley, who, by the way, coming into this fucking game, his career record was 2,000 yards, 50. I don't even know the completion percentage, but he had 8 touchdowns to 18 interceptions.
Yeah,
and he torched you, Rob.
One of the only QBs who has ever been statistically worse than Matt Barkley is Nathan Peterman, who also plays for the fucking Bills.
Not anymore.
Yeah, they cut him because Matt Barkley's a fucking god now. Turns out.
Can
I? All right.
Here's some more stats for you. Hold on, I got another one for you.
All right.
Okay, so the Bills, they put up 41 points on us. Okay, 41 points. 41. All right, that's a stat. 41. You know what their offense was coming into this game? 32nd. 32nd in the National Football League. Dropped 41 on us. And to give you another stat, in case you guys, because I know there are a lot of people that aren't big football fans, there are 32 teams in the NFL. Yes. They were last.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I get it. There's a couple of people injured now, and we've got and Josh McCown was starting. But remember, Josh McCown had a fucking career year last year.
Yeah. With
basically the exact same players. What's the one difference? Oh, we fired our offensive coordinator after he gave a 15-year journeyman backup QB his career year. Let's fire him. Let's fire John Morton. Why not? Oh, dude, kill me. I'm like, Jeremy Bates needs to be exploded into a million pieces and Todd Bowles needs to be fired into the sun. I'm done. And by the way, he's staying until the end of the year, it turns out, it looks like. So he's staying through the bye week, Todd Bowles. Even though it's the perfect time to drop him.
Coach Krendor, I'm gonna break in here and give you a live reading of what went inside the head of Rob Alpaca Patrol on Sunday.
All right.
These are going to be quoted directly. You can follow our boy Rob at twitter.com/Alpaca Patrol.
All right.
And we're in a chronological order here, Coach.
By all means, yeah.
Starting with the Bills are a perfect example of how hard it is to finding a starting caliber QB in the NFL. Also, why are so many of the QBs that people call replacement level who really are not, or something like that? I don't know what Rob was going for. And then immediately followed a minute later by also, if we lose today, please fire Todd Bowles. Bowles.
Yep. Bowles, toilet bowls.
And then Rob, he looks at some Italian stuff, and then, all right, here we go. Halfway through, it looks like, let's see here, on November 11th at Alpaca Patrol. All right, I'm ready to fire Todd Bowles mid-game right now.
Yeah.
Followed by LMAO, followed by the season is officially over, by the way. It's like officially over, by the way. Followed by Todd Bowles should be fired, even just for firing John Morton, the only guy who actually gave us offense in 10 years. Bowles didn't like him because he didn't run the ball enough. And then it was a screenshot, a screen capture from Rob, showing the first quarter summary of the 1 total yard versus the 186 yards for that vaunted Buffalo defense. Which I again quote here at Alpaca Patrol: why the Jets need to fire Todd Bowles into the sun.
Can I interject a little stat? Through a quarter and a half, the Jets were averaging 0.2 yards per play. That means they would need 50 plays for a first down.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Break it back here. Rob retweeted someone who said 1 under par on the second hole looks pretty promising. I like that. It definitely Shout out to @Bracktash for that. And then the really the one that I love the most. This is really just the cream of the crop as far as Rob tweets go.
Yeah.
It's a screenshot again of showing the one total yard fewest in first quarter at home since 1991. And Rob Alpaca Patrol Googles how much bleach do you need to drink to die? That really just summarizes everything that Rob had to go through. And thank you, Rob, because I was laughing at it.
Thank you. See, the thing is about the Jets, and this is why. I know Krendor doesn't get it, and that's fair because he's had two Hall of Fame QBs.
Yeah,
is it like watching the Packers with Brett Hundley last year?
Yeah, probably. Actually,
but then again, we actually did move the ball like more than a yard.
This is the thing. That's the thing about the Jets. We're not just a bad team. It's that when we're bad, which is always, when we're bad, it's not even fun. Like, it's not even fun to watch. It's just, we're just bad. We're just so bad that it's boring and shitty. And I find myself watching the game, and I'm in the third quarter. I do this every Jets game. I'm in the third quarter, and I'm like, this game's fucking over. I should turn it off. And then I don't, because I'm a fan, and I have to watch it. And it's not even like I feel like I'm gonna be berated for being a bad fan. Like, I just feel that way. Like, I feel I need to watch it. I need to see something.
Is there hope that like somebody's gonna break out? Like, hey, that guy looks like he's got some promise to him.
Exactly. Yeah. Something. Anything. There was nothing. Honestly, this might have been one of, or at least in the top 3 of the worst performances that I've ever seen the Jets give.
I mean,
easily.
I've got a stat here for you, Rob. I'm not sure if you're ready for it, but
is it gonna? Yeah, okay.
But the first quarter, your entire offense got 1 yard. I don't know. I don't know what constitutes worse than that. I'm not a Jets fan,
yards,
so
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I
almost would rather it be negative.
Yeah,
at that point.
Me too. Honestly. That was
0.
It was
no, 0 is worse than 1, I would say. But like, I would, if my offense went out and said, yeah, they got like negative 12 yards for I mean, I'd be like, ha 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 ha, it sucks. But the fact it was just, there is literally no other number that exists other than the number 1 where it would have to be listed as yard. That just makes it feel worse.
There is one positive silver lining that
ready
that came out of this
negative to a positive. Here we go.
The one positive thing.
All right,
we found out it's not Sam Darnold's fault. That's one thing we found out is this offense is fucking awful, because we saw Josh McCown last year and he led us to 5 wins and he had a fucking pretty decent goddamn year. All things considered, it's not Sammy. It's not Sammy D. And apparently, by the way, he's so injured that he might not even be back after the bye week.
Oof.
So that's what Todd Bowles has done for Sam Darnold's development. I'm very ecstatic about that. That's fucking fantastic.
He probably won't play again this season. Just they're gonna rest him.
At this point, I feel like it's probably worth it. This offense is, especially if we're not going to fire anybody. Like, I get the idea because, again, I've espoused that very opinion when the Browns fired Hugh Jackson. So, like, I get it. At the same time, right now, I think Sam Darnold's development is being completely held back by this horrible coaching. Seriously, and remember, I lived through the Rex Ryan years. First 2 years, pretty good,
Yeah.
Todd Bowles has never done that. That's the thing. In the last like 30 something games, he has a record like almost as bad as Hugh Jackson. He's like 5-30 something. Like, it's terrible. It's so bad.
Rex, let me see your toes, Ryan.
I want Rex. Dude, do you know how it's gotten so bad at the Jets subreddit that people are saying, oh God, I want Rex back. What the fuck is this? What is happening?
What about Herm? You wouldn't want Herm back?
I would take literally get a guy off the street, get him in there, let him coach the fucking game at this point, because it doesn't make it. It's like when the Browns last year went 0-16. Sorry to shit on the Browns temporarily, but look, I need a target.
They're on the rise.
But like when the Browns lost all their games last year, it was one of those situations where you can say legitimately, you could have just played me, cut 52 players, just sign me, play me. I would have gotten as many wins as the Browns did last year.
Yep.
And it's the same. I feel like it's the same situation. Honestly, you get a fucking guy, you get a hobo in the alleyway with a syringe falling out of his arm, and I guarantee he could probably coach just as well and get as many wins as the Jets are getting right now.
So for the record, and I hate Rob for this, but Krendor and Bear both go Bills. And for some odd reason, I decided to pick the Jets along with Rob. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Jets.
Yeah, no problem.
I knew the Bills defense was good enough to shut down whatever the Jets put out there. And that's why
Bills defense is really good, actually.
Yeah. It's pretty much what got him to the playoffs last year. That and LaShawn McCoy. And then this game was just that and LaShawn McCoy. And then, the occasional offensive lineman touchdown.
One thing I can guarantee you, Coach, this season that the Buffalo Bills will not be going to the playoffs, so you don't have to worry about that. But better luck next time, Rob. Trust me, I feel your pain.
Oh yeah. This is the worst.
I got curious because of how bad your teams are, and I was like, have the Packers ever it's like he gets lost in all the winning. Like, when was the last time we were bad? So I looked, and 2005 we went 4-12.
Oh wow!
And 2008 we went 6-10. That was Rodgers' first year.
Yeah, the year after Favre left.
And then last year we went 7-9 when Rodgers was injured. So those 3 years are only sub 500 years in the last since 93.
30, yeah.
Yeah, so those are some sad years for me, but always had some fun to rebound the next year. Win a couple Super Bowls, watch some Pro Bowl quarterback.
7-9. What fantasy world are you living in?
3 out of 30.
So I'm hoping to make the playoffs, obviously. That would be,
I'm just glad that Vikings legend Brett Favre managed to make a comeback at the late stage of his career.
So speaking of some fun statistics, how about we move on to the Buccaneers, where
thanks, Coach.
500 yards, I believe it was, and 3 points.
Thanks, Coach. Yeah, going over here to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ryan Fitzmagic throwing up 406 yards, unbelievable, torching that amazing Redskins secondary, and thank the big guy upstairs. Lord Jesus, help us. We put up another 4 spot on the 100-yard total, and I'm really proud of my team, Coach. We played our hearts out, and I tell you what, those 3 points that we got out of all that offense was just incredible. It's indescribable, Coach.
Do tell me,
feeling.
How does it happen? Like, what happened?
Well, Coach, see, the thing is here, you got a lot of turnovers that tend to overshadow a lot of the good. Try to find the bad, and so much good is hard to do sometimes. And the Bucs, they usually make it a lot easier than it should be to do that with. We'll go over a couple. I'm going to play my part of Rob here, especially for Jaquiz Rodgers, by the way. 8 for 8, Coach. 102 yards. Chris Godwin, 7 for 7, 103 yards. I mean, just a stellar job by the receiving core. Even had a decent running day with Peyton Barber. It's looking great, Coach. The magic's there. It's just the fact that there's a lot of turnovers in the game.
Yes.
And, Fitzpatrick basically causing 3 of them by himself. Jaquiz Rodgers also causing 1, including one that went out of the end zone, which was just
oh boy,
that'll sting.
It just puts the nice little sparkle on that stat right there.
2 missed field goals as well.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. 2 missed field goals. That's right. I'm glad that at least we didn't draft him in the second pick, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Chandler Catanzaro. You know which team he played for last year?
Jets.
I believe he plays with nobody right now. I think he got cut.
Did he get cut?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That's great. Hopefully someone else will go out there and be the all-time Bucks scoring leader. Now, again, if I'm going back to if we're going back to the live feed here, our stream of consciousness coach, really quickly, I'm going to go over to my Twitter, which is twitter.com/Sinvicta. I've got one here for you, and it's only one of them, Coach. And I'm pretty sure that I linked it to you and Rob and Bear. Right. This is the most Buccaneer sounding headline ever. Alex Smith throws for 178 yards for 1 touchdown, while Fitzpatrick torches the scoreboard, throwing for 406 yards.
Final score is 16-3 in a Bucs loss.
I'm just saying there's nothing more Tampa Bay sounding than that right there.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's kind of like the opposite of the Jets game, you know.
Yeah, yeah, but the results are still the same. So
yeah,
hey,
you know, me and Robert we're bonded by fate and by terrible, god awful football teams.
Hey, one thing that you can take away from this game.
Yes.
You guys lost to a team that is number 1 in their division right now, and is entirely likely that they'll win that division. So, at least it wasn't literally the worst team in football.
That is true. I mean, as bad as the Bucks are.
We lost to the Browns, Brock Osweiler, and Matt fucking Barkley.
So that's going to do it for my Buccaneers game report. Back up to you, Coach. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for that report. I do find it funny. Somebody mentioned this on something where they're like, hey, it's funny how Rob and Sinvicta have like 2 of the most losering, is that a word? Franchises?
Yeah, loser.
Sure.
You know what?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
And then me and Bear have just 2 very fun teams to watch for decades, really.
That's hilarious. Thank you, whoever that was.
It's hilarious.
It is very funny.
One thing I will say on the serious side, Coach, don't mean to break in here, but I did see some people responding to the Buccaneers on Twitter talking about how it's proof positive that obviously Jameis Winston is not the problem. I don't know. I don't know what kind of drugs those type of people are taking because the last time that Jameis Winston played, not only did he throw for 4 interceptions in 1 half, he also had, and I quote from myself, the worst pass of all time I've ever seen at any level of football for one of those interceptions. And by the way, when was the last time Jameis Winston put up a 4 spot on the yards column? Never. Yeah. You know why? Because Jameis Winston sucks, and you're an idiot for suggesting he's better and back at Fitzpatrick, and you suck because of that, whoever that said. I'm gonna find their Twitter handle. They're like, oh yeah, can we please now get all the Fitztragic bandwagoners out of here so we get a real quarterback, get our franchise quarterback back? What franchise quarterback? You talking about the one who catches an Uber everywhere? The one who gets suspended every 2 weeks for doing something inappropriate? Yeah, let me get him right back. Oh darn, we're gonna be missing out on his 4 interceptions per game. How can we not be bestowed with such greatness of Jameis freaking Winston?
Yeah, I wonder what happens to him at the end of the season.
I hope he gets shot in the head.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Shot right in the head, Rob. I want you to take the cannon that you're firing Todd Bowles out of, aim it right at Jameis Winston, please. Shoot him in the head, firing Todd Bowles out of a cannon.
Well, you heard it from Sinvicta first. All right.
Thanks, Coach. Back up to you in the booth.
All right, thank you. Well, I enjoy having a quarterback on my team. It's very fun.
Yeah, it sounds nice. Seems like a good time.
Pretty nice. So
I don't know what that's like.
I legitimately don't either.
It's like, kind of like every week you watch football, you have a chance.
Yeah, I hate that I don't have that. I would like that. I want that all the time.
It's very fun. And sometimes you're like, how do you even make that throw? It's crazy.
For the record, Bear was the only one picking Washington in the Washington Buccaneers matchup.
All right. Well,
that's fair.
That's
good job, Bear.
So let's check out some other games. Steelers over the Panthers, 52-21. I believe most of us took the Steelers, if not.
No, only I took the Steelers because you guys are crazy.
Wait, what? I could have sworn I took the
only
Steelers.
only Sinvicta did, because
Someone
you
must have
guys.
been very charismatic, honestly.
I was telling you guys that you're like, oh, I don't know, it's gonna be such a close game. I'm like, I see the Panthers play. This is like an easy one out of the close matchups that we were debating last week. This one was the most obvious to me.
I could have sworn I took the Steelers.
He definitely didn't, Coach.
I could have. Somebody go back and fact check me. All right.
But Nora does.
Go back and fact check me. I could have sworn I took the Steelers because I feel like I looked at the stats and I was like, oh yeah, Steelers.
No,
I swear.
I remember you
All right.
not going Steelers, Coach.
All right. Well, can we get a fact check on that? Either way. So yeah, Steelers blew out the Panthers. Panthers' offensive line seems really bad. Maybe it'll get fixed. I have no idea. Le'Veon Bell not reporting as per every news outlet every day, answering if Le'Veon Bell's there.
Because
he's not.
We need to know everything about Le'Veon Bell's day, like how many foul movements he had,
Yeah,
how many
that's what
times he
ESPN
walked
does.
the dog. It's Le'Veon Bell. He's good, but he's not following him 24/7 good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
James
it's like
Conner.
a chased and flicks thing, man. Yeah, James Conner's really good.
Yeah, I like
And you
James
know-
Conner a lot.
I actually do want to bring something up.
All right.
Because when I see people talking about James Conner and I see people talking about Le'Veon Bell,
Yeah.
all the time people are saying, ooh, James Conner doing well is really hurting Le'Veon's chances. Now, if or him in contract negotiations or something. And I just want to say, like, that is assuming two things. It's either assuming that, well, it's not really Le'Veon Bell that's good. It's just that offensive line and that offense in general that gave him the yards. And then from that, you can extrapolate that means that James Conner is also not that great. And it's just the offensive line and the offensive. And I'm just going to say it. I don't think those two necessarily need to be mutually exclusive. I think the offensive line and the offense can be very good, and the players can be very good. I think Le'Veon Bell is very good. I think James Conner is very good. Like, I think both of those things can be true. I don't think they need to be mutually exclusive.
Well, like,
So
as somebody who's like watching Aaron Jones do really well, you would think if you slot in Jamal Williams, he'd be able to replicate that
Right.
success.
Yeah,
but,
exactly, yeah.
He does not, in fact, do that. So I think there is something to be said about just a running back just being good. Like, all-purpose yards right now, Todd Gurley has 1390 at number 1. James Conner, number 2, 1158.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure. I don't know if this is entirely accurate because I don't have the stat in front of me. But I was reading earlier that James Conner also is the top or one of the top in broken tackles and like yards after being touched. So like, it's not even just his offensive line. He's getting touched on these plays. He's just making runs. He's playing. You know.
Yeah.
And
So I
Rob,
mean,
I think I asked for on behalf of all of our listeners. People are wondering, Rob, why not just be a Steelers fan?
Yeah, that would be a lot better, wouldn't it?
yeah.
Oh, I'd like that. Yeah. Oh, why did I choose the place where I come from? That's my
Yeah.
team. Oh.
Yeah. You could have been
Oh,
a
an
Giants
idiot.
fan. Eli Manning, you know?
Yeah,
I know.
You could have been a Bills fan. You would have been happy last week.
Yeah.
Hey man, I defend Eli the same way I defend Blake Bortles. So I'll tell you what. If Sam Darnold ends up having Eli's career, like exactly yardage, wins, losses, I'm fucking in. Are you kidding? He's got 2 rings, motherfucker. He was obviously good enough. I'm good for that. If Sammy Boy can bring me 2 rings, if he can bring me 1 ring, I'll be happy. I don't even care if he throws more picks than touchdowns. If we get a ring, I'm good.
I'm not trying to exaggerate. I'm being realist here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that I will leave this life before I see another Buccaneer Super Bowl victory. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't know about the Jets, but
It could be too.
with the way that the Bucs are going, it's clear that how Dirk Cotter has a job still.
That's kind
This
of crazy.
was the first time that he decided he was going to take over the entire play calling. And he went on the post-game press conference. He admitted that he made the plays. What did he say? He said that he admitted basically that he was taking over for the play calling, and that he was standing by his decision or something like that. He's basically just telling everybody that works at the Tampa Bay front offices that he wants to be gone. Like, he's like, this is the
He even
biggest
said,
clown.
like, the other week, he's like, yeah, I should have been fired.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's on
Oh,
record
okay.
this season saying, I quote, everyone who coaches in this coaching staff should be fired, starting with me. That's your head coach saying that during a regular season after a loss. After a loss, your head coach says everyone in the coaching staff should be fired, starting with myself.
I mean, in fairness, he's
Fire
not
him.
wrong. Yeah. He seems like
How is he
probably
still
should
there?
be fired.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, he's trying to get fired.
I think
Yeah, I mean,
I never thought that I would want someone faster to replace than I did when Raheem Morris first took over for the Bucks. But Dirk Cotter is easily the worst coach I think I've ever seen in the NFL.
And like, hear me out. Now, I haven't watched a lot of Bucks games, but the few that I have watched now, and you can tell me this more as a Bucks fan who probably watches every snap.
I do not watch every snap, right?
Oh, well, I mean, but you know, almost every snap or whatever. You're watching the game. Anyway, so did he really need to take over for play calling?
No.
Because like, I'm gonna be honest, your offense looks like, hey, our guys are fast, running a straight line, and we'll bomb it to you. Like, that's
does
what it
seem
looks
like
like your
that.
offense is. Like, it doesn't seem like it's that creative play calling. You know what I mean?
The
Yeah.
Bucks offensive coordinator, the one who called the plays, who basically took all priority on offense for the first 3 games, has not taken since. Has not done that. And what did the Bucks do in the first 3 games of the season? They were lighting people up. I mean, yeah, granted they were playing bad teams, but still the offense was lighting people up.
Yeah,
I mean, they're even like, they're in the game with the Steelers. I mean, it's a pretty good.
Yeah, they should have beaten the Steelers. They could have beaten the Steelers.
These weren't really bad games either. That's a win over the Saints, 48-40, a win over the Eagles, who are now back to 500, and it's a win over the Browns, who just had a fucking great game to beat the Atlanta Falcons. So, like, I don't know, man. It seems like it's not necessarily even bad teams.
Go Browns.
Yeah, dude.
Go Browns.
Go
Actually,
Browns.
the Eagles are now 4-5. They're below 500.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Well, they're close. All right,
Yeah,
because they
they're
just
close.
lost.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
All right.
Go
well,
Browns.
other games. Saints destroyed the Bengals. It wasn't even close.
Absolutely destroyed them.
Yep.
Yeah, that was another game that's just sad. Sad.
You know,
Just-
It's almost as sad as the Bills and the Jets game.
it almost was.
Almost as sad.
Hey, Sinvicta, as
Yes.
a Bucks fan,
Hello, Rob.
and as a fellow fan, actually no, for all 3 of us, as fans of teams who really dislike their coaching staff,
Yeah.
at least we didn't rehire Marvin Lewis for his 15th year with 0 playoff
Who
wins.
has just hired Hugh Jackson as his assistant coach?
Yeah.
Absolutely true. Yep. Hugh Jackson is on as a special assistant.
There is something in the water in Cincinnati. I don't know what it is, but it makes people really love Marvin Lewis.
The thing with my coaching staff is, like, even though I don't like them, I still think McCarthy's a good coach. I just think he's kind of overstayed his welcome, and we need something fresh.
Well, just
And
think of your alternatives, coach.
yeah, there's
Who's
really nothing
out
else
there
right
that's
now.
really
Hey,
that you're
Hugh
chopping at the
Jackson's
bit.
free. Yeah.
And I
Well,
mean,
he's not free
Pettin-
anymore.
Right. Yeah.
we
that's
had
true.
we had Dom Capers, and I got tired. It was another thing where, like, he just wore out his welcome. We needed something new. Then we got Pettin in there, and now his defense has been great. So it's like we just need another one of those type of things. So I mean,
Pettin, fun fact:
Yeah.
Rex Ryan coaching tree.
oh,
Yep.
He was our DC for a while, for a couple of years.
hey, he's pretty good. I like him.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, our defenses under Rex were very good. So
Yeah, no.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
no, I mean, I like him. I'm bad at analyzing defenses. I like when I look at a play, I'm just like zone, man, blitz. That's
4-3,
it. Like that's it.
3-4.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like very simple.
No.
Like I'm not looking at like how the plays are designed. Really.
Watch the slot corner fake the blitz, pull back with the linebacker, slide out. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Now, analyst Rob, as bad as our teams are, I think even Coach Krendor can get in on this opinion, even though he doesn't really qualify.
Okay.
I think that we can all agree that no matter how bad our teams we think or perceive our teams to be, that the Oakland Raiders of the 2018 season is quite possibly the worst football team I've ever seen, period.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad, shockingly bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
I think like, and I don't like, because I see this all the time, people accusing teams of doing this, and I just like 99% of the time I don't think it's true. The Oakland Raiders look to me about as close as any team ever has to purposefully tanking.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It happens all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the most obvious example of purposefully tanking that I've ever seen in the National Football League. Yeah. And I don't like I said, I think sometimes bad teams are bad. Like the Jets are bad right now. We're not tanking on purpose. We're just bad. The Bills are not. I don't think they're tanking on purpose either. I think they're just bad.
Giants, same.
Yeah, Giants are definitely not tanking on purpose. They picked up a running back because they thought they were making a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
So, like the Raiders, however, I think legitimately are tanking on purpose. And I don't even actually think it was necessarily John Gruden's initial intention. Like, I think legitimately after Khalil Mack got traded, after he was offered 2 firsts, he was just like, well, let's commit to the tank. Let's do it.
We're going Vegas.
And you know, like, it's one of those things. And part of the reason that I don't like people suggesting that teams are doing this is because in the National Football League, it doesn't make as much sense. Right? Yeah. Like in the NBA, sure. You know, one player can make a team a playoff contender, right? Like look at LeBron on literally any team, right? So like what one player can make a team a playoff contender. In the NFL, it's not as simple as that. Even if you have Khalil Mack or if you have you know, Tom Brady or whatever, like even if you have those guys, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a playoff contender. It probably does if you have a QB. If your QB is transcendent, but beyond that, I mean, not really in the NFL. This is a 53-man roster.
And even then, like, look at some of the quarterback. Like, Aaron Rodgers was, like, 23rd. Favre was, like, late. Brady was late. Like,
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You don't tank seasons. Easy. You don't tank seasons to get the top playoff or the top draft pick. You tank it for other reasons other than that, because you got to make the next season look impactful as well. And I'm not putting on the conspiracy theorist hat and saying that one team every single season does it. Of course, this is just the most obvious case of a team tanking it, but I'm not surprised by this at all, because after knowing how Gruden does his way when he was at Tampa, when he was cleaning house from Dungy, it doesn't surprise me at all. It was very clear that after the Mac thing happened, he's like, okay, it's scorched earth for everybody. We're gonna hire people that I want to hire. We're going to get people who I know that are going to be down with my regiment, because Gruden has a very strict way of doing things. It's his way or the highway. Yeah. And I think that what we're seeing right now is the finishing touches of him clearing out basically everyone who was still thinking that the Raiders were going to have a team this year and preparing them for the long haul. Because he said, and I quote, if we're not a playoff contender, I will give the Raiders their $100 million back. That's not happening. I can't. There's a bigger plan here. And I think that anyone out there who's a Raiders fan is completely delusional for thinking that the Davises are going to fire Gruden, like, after signing that historic contract.
And you know what?
He's playing the long game.
Yeah, they should. I personally think they shouldn't fire Gruden anyway, even after this year. Like, I think if they end up, you know, 0-8 again next year, okay, fine, fire him. But I think even after just one season, like, you shouldn't fire a dude.
Yeah, well, they don't care what's happening right now. There's, like I said, they're looking towards Vegas. They're looking for that opening Vegas game with, like, all these new young bright stars, growing team.
They're making sure that there's no Raiders fans left in Oakland. They're like, okay, don't worry, your team's leaving. Don't worry, you can go across the river and go root for a good team.
Yeah,
this one's going away.
We'll even think about it. Like, maybe they do re-sign Khalil Mack or, like, Amari Cooper and, like, keep all these guys, and then it's like they're mediocre still by the time they get to Vegas, and they're like essentially being like, yo, let's just, like, stock up for the future.
Start again.
And
Yeah.
start again, yeah. So, I mean, I get why they're doing it. It's just, it's pretty boring to watch.
Yeah, it's right. Well, and that's
no one's watching them, though.
Yeah.
well, and that's the thing too, and that's again why I say, like, I don't think teams purposely tank in the NFL as often as people claim they do, because the other thing is that, like, part of the 53-man roster is that if I'm an NFL player right now, right, and I'm looking at the Oakland Raiders, who, like I said, maybe I'm wearing a tinfoil hat, but it really looks like they're blatantly tanking here.
Watch them sign Nathan Peterman.
but if I'm looking at the Oakland Raiders and I'm a free agent, why the fuck would I go there? If I have a good year, what happens? I get traded to a team that I don't really get any kind of, input on. Like, if I'm good, I'm good, I'm getting traded. And if I'm not, I'm sacrificing my body for probably a veteran minimum contract on a team that's not going to be competing for anything at all. That's why it doesn't happen as much as in the NFL, I think, because it's a 53-man roster, and guys who are playing at the lower end, which is like most of the league, I don't think that's worth it. That's not a worthwhile, because, like, even if you have to be really, really fucking good to stand out on a team this bad. And I don't know anybody that's standing out on the Raiders right now. It fucks your career. It tanks you, man. Like, it tanks you as well. It's not worth it to me as a free agent to come there. I also do want to mention money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're obviously not going to be handing out big contracts until, a year or 2 or 4 from now. I do want to mention one thing, though. I just found out by looking at the stat line that Derek Carr is the QB of the Oakland Raiders, and they have a receiver named Derek Carr-Ear.
What?
His name is Derek Carrier. I'm not kidding.
But it's Carrier. It's
Car
to Carrier.
Thanks. Thanks, Rob. For the record, all of us picked the Los Angeles Chargers over the Raiders.
And I think if anybody picks the Raiders for even a single game the rest of this year, they're fucking crazy.
I should have
one team you should all be going for, though, and we're converting people, Coach. We're getting people on the Cleveland Brown train. People legitimately excited for the Browns to win. They're now 3-6-1, Coach.
Thank you, Cleveland Browns, for taking down the Falcons, who are competing with the Packers for a wild card. That was
not
beautiful.
Anymore.
Well,
dude,
I sure hope not.
That was a beautiful game to watch. It really was.
It was great. Baker played.
I'm telling you, I'm on the Browns. I'm on the Browns train.
Chubb with that 92-yard carry.
Dude, Mayfield looking solid. I mean, the Browns are going
really solid, like very good, like 216 yards.
He only had 3
of 20.
3 drop passes. That was it, and 2 of them weren't even his fault.
If they're healthy next year, I would say they can take the AFC North.
I fully believe that. Honestly.
I don't think that's outlandish at all. I think the Browns, if they put up, just imagine if they put up, like, I'm not going to say they're going to win out. Let's not be crazy. But if they put up like a six or even a 7th win on this season, holy smokes, things are going to be they're going to be jumping next season. At the start of the 2019 season, Cleveland is going to be hype as hell for the Browns, and I'm going to be hyped too.
All I'm going to say is I'll remind people, because I said it, and whether I'm right or wrong, I want it to be on record. I said the Browns minimum 7 wins this year. They still have a chance.
They still have a chance
to happen, but they have a chance to get 7 wins this year, and that I think that's got to be an enormous turnaround. Honestly, even just the 3-6-1 this year, because it's a 3-6-1 with hope. Like, that's a huge fucking turnaround.
I mean, they outgunned Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
They outgunned him. But
Matt Ryan's no slouch either.
Well, it's not like the Atlanta offense is just terrible. Like, they've got a high power offense. Maybe not the rushing game, but definitely the receiving core is top notch. And the Browns outgunned them.
Yeah, it is straight up and outgunning. You're right. I mean, if you look at Matt Ryan's stats, 38 of 52, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. And he had 102 rating.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb is going to be an absolute stud in Cleveland. Now that he's the sole back,
he looks
like a monster.
Look out.
These are kind of crazy stats. Baker Mayfield was 17 for 20. He only threw 20 passes.
Yeah, we already went over
the
that. Coach.
same amount of touchdowns as incompletions. That's that's how good his day was.
It was cooler when we first talked about it on this segment, Coach.
Well, okay. And Nick Chubb, 8.8 yards a carry on 20 carries.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
that's
averaging
insane.
6.2 on the year right now.
Like he's almost up to Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I mean, like
He's good.
Well, it's the same situation with the Browns, right?
Yeah.
It's like I would go into the Browns subreddit all the time, and people would be like, "Why the fuck are we not running Nick
Yeah.
Chubb? He's breaking off like 15 yards every play. Just run
There's
him."
no reason.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that it's pretty clear now that they're going to be doing that because I mean, no running back puts up 160 or 176 yards by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has been solid, like a solid producing running back for the entire season for the Browns. This is
Yeah.
the Browns we're talking about.
The one thing they need is they need receivers. I think that's
Yes,
their
they do.
biggest need.
Yeah.
Like, right, they got Antonio Callaway, Brashad
Well,
Perryman, Duke
yeah.
Well,
Johnson.
to be fair, they did start with not only Callaway but also Josh Gordon. You got to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a receiver, but one that
Well-
didn't want to be there. You know?
Here's the thing. Let me get on a soapbox a little bit for the Cleveland
Mhm.
Browns. You
All
know,
right.
we're all riding that high right now. Their receiving core is actually pretty good. Like Antonio Callaway has surprised in every Browns game that I've watched. Like he's looked like legit. Like he is good. And Duke Johnson Jr. is finally getting into the action. That was like a big concern for Browns fans for years with Hugh Jackson. It was just like, why?
Mhm.
Again, the same thing as Nick Chubb. This guy is making plays. Let him fucking play. Get him the ball. So Duke Johnson is still like he's a running back technically, but he's also just like he's explosive in the receiving game. Jarvis Landry is Jarvis Landry. He's still very good. He's got hands made of like glue. And then David Njoku looks like legitimately like he could be one of the top tight ends in the league in a couple of years. I think with a good coaching staff, that's a fucking great core of receivers, especially if they add just one more guy, like one like big target receiver, and that's
Yeah.
I think they're set. Honestly,
Well, that's what I was
true.
going to say though, is that to play devil's advocate to Rob, Callaway he's looked solid in the past, but that's only because they had the threat of Josh Gordon there. With Gordon gone, they need someone else to take the pressure off the rest of the receiving core. Because not that the receivers you named aren't great, but
Yeah.
they need a big money target to take the pressure off everything else, and that way Mayfield has more options than just Callaway and Perryman.
yeah. They picked up Jarvis Landry to
Yeah.
be like the security blanket, but I think they definitely. I mean, you know, you got a young QB. You always want more. You could have get a shitload. You know.
Yeah.
Why
Fun
not?
fact for
What's
you
it
here,
gonna hurt?
Rob, as well. The 3 drops or the 3 incompletions were all to Landry, by the way.
Really? Yeah.
All 3 of them. Yep.
That's
Oh, yeah,
that's interesting, actually.
He's
Well,
on my
yeah.
fantasy team, so he's had a couple of down weeks. Actually, I know that well.
Well, that's the thing is like they do need that one big receiver, and I'm sure they could find it even in like the 2nd or 3rd round of the draft or something.
I
So
mean,
it's not-
Mike Evans' contract is coming up soon.
yeah, that's true.
Dude, if
Oh
If
my
Mike
God.
Evans went to the Browns, oh my goodness.
Oh, if
That
you
would
don't
be
pick him up, I
insane.
hope the Jets get him. I would really like him.
Yeah, Mike Evans is always a stud, but
He's very good.
So yeah, then the Falcons on the other side, they just can't run the ball really. Like Tevin Coleman, I guess, is doing okay. He had 44 yards, 11 carries, but like that just they have no running game, and their defense is still not great because it's beat up.
and for the record, all 4 of us picked the Browns, coach. All
Hell
4
yeah.
of us.
Hell yeah.
Go Brownie.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
Hey, well, one honorable mention: Julio Jones or Julio Jones caught his first
Julio
touchdown.
Jones.
Yeah, sorry. Julio Jones just got his first touchdown of the year.
The second
Or,
touchdown.
no, second touchdown
Second,
of the year.
yeah.
He's on a roll now.
Yeah.
he's not
Look out.
Also,
Look at Jesus Christ! I'm sorry. Just one quick second. He's got 1,000 yards on the year already. Julio,
yeah.
2 touchdowns. That oh man,
Those are
1,000
Buccaneers
yards,
stats right
2
there, Rob.
touchdowns.
yeah,
Yeah, that's some Buck stats.
Those
that's
are Buck
some
stats.
serious Buck stats.
Moving on, we had the Lions Bears. I got the honor of watching this game.
Yep.
This is the
And,
only game on. And
You also picked the Lions, coach. Just right here.
I
Just
did.
says,
They actually almost
Krendor.
came back. They actually almost came back at the end, but it was too little too late. For some reason, they just they got like 2 onside kicks in a row, which was kind of crazy.
Oh, really?
That
is
Yeah, they
crazy.
legit got 2 onside kicks in a row, and they were like on their way to like coming back, but they just couldn't pull it off at the end. They probably could have if they had Golden Tate and they didn't trade him away, which I don't know why they did still, because I felt like they were trying to contend when they traded for Snacks Harrison. So they're like, hey, let's pick up some assets to make a playoff push. And then they're like, hey, let's trade away some assets for that playoff push. Like, what are you doing? And so in classic Lions fashion, they couldn't come back, but they tried. And the Bears pretty much controlled the game the entire game, essentially. They just they destroyed them. So
Yeah.
it's Bears are still looking good. Trubisky's growing.
I was kind of on the fence about Nagy, but he seems like he's a pretty good coach, turns out.
He is. Khalil Mack still like destroying people out there.
Yep.
Bears. It'll be a good game. They play the Vikings like this coming week, so that's like a first place battle actually.
And just think, we wouldn't have been able to see any of those monster hits if the referees were still calling roughing quarterback.
Well, I know none of you guys said this, but I see the general sentiment going around, and I wanna go out there and stand and be a white knight for Matt Stafford again.
All right.
The guy, he's a good goddamn quarterback, and I'm salty at Lions fans saying they need to draft a new fucking QB because it pisses me off to no end because you don't know what it's like, motherfucker. They've got a guy. They've got the guy.
Yeah.
They just need to put a fucking team around him because I actually just read a stat earlier today on the NFL subreddit. Here, I'll read it to you. Since Matthew Stafford was drafted, 47% of the Lions' wins have required him to complete a game-winning drive.
Oh my God.
That's like literally half he's had to come back. Like
Pretty
that's
awful.
what he has to do. And then there's the sub-argument of like, oh, well, yeah, he puts up garbage time numbers. But he doesn't. He has better stats in the first half than the second half. So, like, he's the guy. It's just like, that team has not been around him for long enough, man. I know, like, people shit on the Colts for wasting a talented QB, but we should shit on the Lions a little bit too, because Matt Stafford's a top 10 QB, and he's been top 10 for like his entire career almost.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. I feel bad for him in some places. I mean, he does. Yeah, he's a gunslinger. He throws it around, and sometimes he has games where he throws more picks than touchdowns. That's true. That happens. But, like, I don't know, man. He's the guy, I think, personally.
The thing is, like, they've went from being, like, Browns tier bad, where they lost every game, to, like, they made the playoffs, and now they've just kind of hovered around the middle, like, in a mediocrity type of... Like,
Bengals area.
Yeah, Bengals area, exactly. And so, I don't know if they're, like, trying to figure out if they need to, like, blow up the team, or if they just got to, like, get the right pieces. It's just, they're in, like, a weird limbo right now.
Yeah,
but
they're getting there. I think they made some good moves in the offseason. I think that Kenny Galladay turned out to be pretty fucking good too. So
yeah, and I mean the main reason they'd lose in the playoffs was just discipline. Like they had a good team, they had a good defense, they had Stafford, they like Calvin Johnson. It was just you had a Donkey Kong Sue stepping on Aaron Rodgers, being like, "I didn't do it." It's like, yeah, you did, idiot.
I didn't stomp on the offensive lineman, even though I just did it and millions of people saw it.
God, I hate it. I still hate it.
I have another tangential stat that I wanted to bring up on the show today that I forgot to bring up when we were talking about the Browns.
All right.
Okay. So in the 2 games since Hugh Jackson's firing, Baker Mayfield, 46 of 62 for 513 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, 118.5 passer rating. Nick Chubb, 42 carries, 261 yards, 6.2 yards per carry. So, I mean, like, I think that is the most obvious example of, yes, a coaching staff can hold you back. And I think Sean McVay, the Jeff Fisher to Sean McVay is the perfect example of, yes, a good coaching staff makes a bad team good.
Yep.
Like, it's just, coaching is so much more important than people give it credit for, I think.
Yeah.
And it's in a lot of places.
especially if it's like an on the rise team or like a good team that just needs a change of pace. I think those are the biggest thing. It's not just like, oh, we're bad again, fire, and like people just keep going through coaches. Like you need the pieces around you. It's when you have those pieces and nothing's happening that you're like, all right, it's the coaching.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
All of us whiffed on the Eagles game, Coach.
Yep, that's my second lock of the week picking against the Cowboys. Last week I picked the Jags against the Cowboys. Now I picked the Eagles. I'm done picking against the Cowboys. I don't know what they're doing.
That seems fair, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the second time Crandor has lost a lock of the week. It's Jags, who also lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah. So Eagles, I think, are also. I read a thing where like all their starting like corners are out or something, so they're not looking too healthy.
Yeah. They're super banged up right now, actually.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
They had a guy. There was one dude, one Eagles fan I saw on Reddit, who was talking about how it's the second week that this player has caught a ball and he still doesn't have a page on Pro Football Reference. That's how no name their cast has been. So yeah, they're having some issues, which is weird because remember last year, like the one thing that, no, not the one thing, but I mean like one of the main things that Howie Roseman was like super credited for was how deep the Eagles roster was. Like they had depth everywhere, but this year, not so much, it seems.
I mean, they only won a Super Bowl last time. I mean,
I think they won the Super Bowl. A lot of that depth is now starting, and there's no depth behind that depth.
Right?
So it's just,
exactly.
Yeah, you hit that.
So it's shallow now, is what you're saying, Coach.
Yeah, it's pretty shallow. Is what I'm saying.
All right.
Well, one other quick thing is like, I think 5 of their next 6 games are against teams with a winning record right now for the Eagles.
Ooh.
So. Yeah, it's this season's looking pretty rough for them unless they can turn it around in a big way.
You knew it was going to be bad when they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Chiefs though, they beat the Cardinals. It was a pretty tough game though. They seemed like
surprisingly, surprisingly tough for them.
Surprisingly so.
Who's is Josh Rosen still?
Yeah,
still back there. Huh. Let's see. How'd he do?
How's he doing on the year, actually?
Cardinals.
1280 yards.
Josh Rosen, Rob honeymoon's over now. We haven't heard much about that.
Hey,
no, I mean, I like Josh Rosen, too. Yeah.
David Johnson, 98 yards. He actually did some stuff. And 85 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Big game for David Johnson.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't watched, like, pretty much any of the Cardinals snaps, so I couldn't tell you if Josh Rosen is the guy or is not the guy. I mean, I couldn't tell you if I did watch all the snaps, but I
was happy that David Johnson finally did something after taking him number 1 in the draft this year.
Yeah,
that's
Don't do that again. Don't ever take David Johnson first anymore.
Yeah, I almost feel like the Chiefs maybe didn't try as hard as they needed to. Maybe that's just me being like,
I'm pretty sure it's only because you have Patrick Mahomes as your starting fantasy player.
Maybe. It's possible.
I was happy as a Tyreek Hill fan, even though I still lost my fantasy team matchup.
Yeah.
7 receptions, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
That's spicy.
Yep.
Yeah.
That offense is crazy.
A 120-yard run as well, which was that was
and
a nice
Justin Houston played and got an interception.
Oh,
how about that?
Look at that.
Yep.
It's pretty good.
I think this is a great game to analyze for teams that are going to be fighting against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs because the Cardinals, remember, are one of the worst teams in football right now.
They're not good.
And their offense specifically is very bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is just sort of like, a perfect example of the Chiefs defense being not that great right now. Like they've actually tuned it up a little bit the past couple of weeks, but like the Cardinals still put up 14 points on them, and that made the game hard because you're gonna have games, no matter how good your offense is, you're gonna have games where your offense isn't as good as it normally is, right?
Yeah.
So, be an interesting game to look.
Speaking of interesting games, Colts Jaguars. Ooh, what a game. Andrew Luck, 3 touchdowns. Andrew Luck had 3 touchdowns.
He did.
And I mean, Blake Bortles actually didn't play that bad. He had 320 yards, 2 touchdowns.
He played very well, actually.
Yeah.
It was 111.7 rating.
Granted, Colts secondary is garbage, so I would hope he would play well.
For the record, all 4 of us picked the Colts.
Yep. Eric Ebron, 2 touchdowns.
The Colts are coming back, man. They're on the rise right now. Like what is that? Like 3 straight wins?
I think
3
so.
straight wins right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the Titans next week though, so that's tough.
Well,
That
the
is a
Texans
tough
are coming off of a bye week after winning 6 straight as well. So
Yeah.
Texans are going to be pretty tough to top this season, I think.
I don't think they win the division.
Which is hell for me to say because I've been so negative on them for the entire season. But that also stems from me being in Houston, and I just don't like the Texans.
Yeah. It's going to be Texans-Titans. It's like battling it out at the end.
Yeah. It won't be Texans-Jags like everyone thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hear me out. Like even if that's like I think you guys are both probably right. Like I agree. I have the same opinion. But important to note, the Colts are only 2 games out of first right now.
Yeah.
So it's just 2 wins. Like
getting T.Y. Hilton back, I think, has been the biggest difference.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And their defense is playing well again now.
Yeah.
Well,
it's hard to gauge them off of beating the Jag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like I don't want to give them too much credit.
No, you're right. Yeah, I mean the Jags are 3-6, and holy shit, man, that's got to be the biggest negative turnaround that I've seen, man. What the hell happened?
They went from playoff contender to why did we even think they were good?
Party boat. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey's still talking shit on Twitter too.
Yeah,
that's going to be one for the party boat notch right there. For those you keep track at home for Coach.
Jaguar party boat. I'm telling you, messed him up. Blake Bortles, he's still hungover.
Yep.
I did forget another stat for you for this game.
Okay.
I don't remember it exactly. Let me see if it's still there. Oh no, I hit the wrong button. Shit. Oh god. Oh Jesus. Hold on.
Hold on. Casting right here.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. The Indianapolis Colts has gotten 4 straight games with no sacks allowed.
Oh wow.
They haven't given up a sack in 4 straight. So
that's they drafted, I think, first overall their offensive line. They were like, we need to keep Andrew Luck up.
Quentin Nelson, he's a guard. I remember pre-draft, everybody was like, well, I don't care how good he is. You don't draft a guard in that high. Who gives a shit, dude? Come on. He clearly is making a difference here.
It's one of those things
all
where
played Madden. We know.
Offensive linemen are never the most exciting picks, but they're like the most important picks.
I agree completely. I was spoiled on the Jets with Nick Mangold for 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Who was a godly center.
DeBrickashaw Ferguson.
Oh, we had such a good O-line. We used to have such a good O-line. That was the best part about DeBrickashaw Ferguson is that he had a ridiculous name and he was super good.
Yeah.
DeBrickashaw. It's so awesome.
It is. That's a football name.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Colts, AFC South and the rise, looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Aside from the Jaguars falling down. And then we had the Seahawks Rams. That was a actually close game. Seahawks had a chance to they had a chance to win it at the end. They just couldn't do it.
I watched most of that.
I watched Pete Carroll chomp his gum.
Yep.
In an angry fashion. And
what flag you talking about?
Like, I hit that point where I was like, I know I picked the Seahawks to win, but I want them to lose for the Packer playoff hopes, and then they did, and I was like, all right, I'm fine with that.
But the only person that picked the Seahawks was Bear last week, Coach.
I thought I picked the Seahawks.
Nope.
I don't know what I picked last week. It was a blur at this point.
I told you, Coach was on his wacky tobacco whiskey back there, taking the Titans, thinking about locking them.
Oh wait, you know what?
Patriots.
I did pick the Rams. Never mind. I think I picked the Seahawks a different week. Listen, I don't know what I say anymore.
Thanks, Coach.
Then let's see. Then there was Cowboys Eagles. We already talked about. How about the Cowboys though? They've won like 2 in a row now, right?
Yeah.
2 in a row.
Yeah.
The thing is with the Cowboys is like, let me take a look at this game in the win. Oh yeah, Ezekiel Elliott, 19 carries, 151 yards, 7.9 average, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
The thing is, the Cowboys again are it's the same. It's their wins are on the back of Ezekiel. If Ezekiel Elliott plays well, they're gonna win the game probably.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like what you can't rely on running consistency. You just can't in the modern NFL, you know. And they've got a good defense too. Don't get me wrong. They've got a great defense. So I mean, it's defense and running the ball, but it's like that's like the team makeup from like 1998. You know what I mean? Like it just I've sat through many years of that on the New York Jets. Actually, Todd Bowles earlier this year said, "Yeah, we want to get back to ground and pound football." Like, no, stop! It's over. Ground and pound is done, guys.
I mean,
It's
maybe
Jerry
we had
Jones.
Curtis Martin.
Jerry Jones, dude. He's trying to put together that 1998, fun team that he remembers. That's probably the last year he does remember. He's like lost right now.
But do you guys honestly feel that Dak is the one to lead the Cowboys to greatness?
It's one
Dak
of those
Prescott's
things where
never really impressed me, Coach.
He's one of those quarterbacks where like he's not gonna be top 10, I don't think, but he's gonna be like around 15, and you can still win with that.
Yeah,
right.
I agree. Yeah.
So it's not worth trying to get another quarterback.
He reminds me of Kirk Cousins.
Well,
I'd say Kirk Cousins.
I mean, I don't know
better.
about Kirk. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is considerably better, I think. Yeah.
Well, but what I'm saying is his viability and able to
his style
elevate his he's a Dak. I don't know. I feel like that if Dak, even if he had some weapons to go to, wouldn't be performing that much better.
I actually my comp for Dak would probably be Alex Smith. After watching him, this is his third year now, right? Dak Prescott. He reminds me of Alex Smith.
He almost reminds me of like a Alex Smith version of like Dante Culpepper.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, I see. Yeah, I kind of know.
He's got that like ability to run around. He's like a bigger guy, but
well, Alex Smith can run around too. You know, he's
no Sam Darnold.
I think no, but I think he's a guy who he's not gonna blow out any kind of volume statistics. He's not gonna throw a million touchdowns, but he's also not gonna throw a lot of picks. And he's gonna be fairly safe with the football, and I think you can win with him. So I think it's not the end of the world if they stick with Dak Prescott. Obviously, you want a guy that will win you games, not a guy you can win with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if he continues on the trend that he is right now, like for his stats for the rest of the year, they'll mostly be in line with the past 3 years, and you know that's fine. Like I think that's fine. He's gonna have about 3,000 yards. He's gonna have about 20 touchdowns, and he's gonna have maybe 10 picks. And I think that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a game manager.
Yeah, and he's got Amari Cooper now. You know, that's
I mean, hey, in fairness to the Cowboys, Amari Cooper got 6 receptions for 75 yards.
I'd hope you would for a first-round draft pick.
How about Dez Bryant, Coach? Speaking of the Cowboys and Cowboys players.
Oh, wait, by the way, I want to correct myself. They did not win 2 in a row. They won, and then they lost to the Titans and the Redskins 2 weeks. It was they beat the Jaguars a few weeks ago. That's what it was. I was just thinking of my lock of the week. That's why it just
Coach,
that I lost.
He's 4 weeks behind. That's
I'm 4 weeks behind, yeah. Dez Bryant.
Dez Bryant, Coach.
What a signing.
Bryant. That sucks, man.
That does suck.
That sucks so hard.
Am I a bad person for laughing really hard at that?
I don't think you are. Yeah.
It was.
I mean, I did too. So I mean, like, we're bad together if we are.
All right.
Well, but like, it's funnier because he's like such a like personality of like a diva. Yeah. It's like that Terrell Owens mentality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sort of a Murphy's Law kind of thing. Like
it's not like he's Jerry Rice and it happened. Like that would just be like, oh, like it's terrible. Yeah. But the fact that it's Dez Bryant, like,
yeah. I mean, it was like to give a breakdown real quick of what happened with Dez Bryant in the offseason here. So Dez Bryant wanted a lot of money, didn't really have the production to to put that contract number where it should be, right?
Mhm.
And the Cowboys were like, we're gonna move on. And then he was like, I'm gonna make sure I join an NFC East team. I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna beat the Cowboys 2 times a year. It's gonna be great. NFC East, crickets. And then a couple of teams started giving him contract offers. One was for like $20 million or like $14 million or something. And he was like,
Yeah.
no, I want better.
Yeah.
Nothing for half a fucking year. And then he finally gets what he wants. He's halfway through the year. The New Orleans Saints, probably the best team in football right now at 8-1, go, hey, Dez, come on in. You got a playoff shot. You got a Super Bowl chance. You waited and you didn't get the money that you wanted, but you got a contract with a good team, and you're on a prove it deal. That sounds awesome. And then he injures himself in his first practice. Like,
Bye Achilles tendon.
Oh man, like everything that could have gone wrong for Des Bryant did go wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And it made me laugh really, really hard.
It sucks because he bet on himself super hard and failed at that super fucking hard.
See, now is when the religious guy, as part of the analyst team, would be like, well, maybe God's teaching him a little lesson of
humility, right?
Of humility. He needs to be a little humble.
Nah, he's a wide receiver, dude. They're all divas.
Yeah,
Not all.
Almost everyone.
A lot of them are. It's like the
Des Bryant
position
certainly
that
is.
has the most likely to have a diva at it.
Yeah,
I
that
think.
or CB.
Yeah, that or corner.
Yeah.
It's usually those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, that's that.
Final pick totals, coach, for week 10 last week. Here, Coach Crendor, Bear Taffy sitting at 67% with 10-5 each, and then myself and Rob sitting at 9-6, and I got an extra loss on the ding because I stupidly locked in the Patriots. Thank you, Bear.
Yeah,
I
And
wanted
locked
Bear to
in
be
the
here so I could
Eagles.
yell at him and yell at his team.
I locked in those Eagles, dude. Not gonna do that again.
You know what I want to say too is I'm for some reason in the Patriots loss, I'm still mad at the Patriots because
Now that's just a
Notice
Jets
how-
fan talking right there.
yeah, but like I know it is, but also like you notice how like we talked about all these games, all these teams and stuff, and the wins and the losses and the surprises and the whatnot and whatever. Patriots lose a game, they lose 34-10. They get stomped, right? That's a
Yeah.
stomp. We just kind of brush over it because we're like, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's the Patriots. I want to be there, man. I want to be a fan of a team where they can have a loss and it's not the end of the world, because it's always the end of the world when it's the Jets.
Well,
Yeah,
most media outlets call for Tom Brady's like, is this the end of the era every time?
Yeah,
Hey,
no, you're
it was the
just
start of the
there.
season. People like Patriots 0-2 or whatever they were, and it's like, no, they'll be fine. And you know
It's
what? They were
over.
fine.
Yeah, I love, we all said that on this podcast.
Yeah.
too. It was like, yeah, when they're out of the playoffs, then call me. Then we'll talk.
I think we've
before that.
just discovered why Bear is secretly not here today.
Yeah, I think so.
The one time the Patriots actually lose while he's on the podcast team,
Mhm.
he fully pulls a no-show.
It's another
Yeah.
thing where like when you have that type of quarterback, like I said, you just get carried. It was like I remember the one year I was like, the season's looking over, and Aaron Rodgers carried us to a Super Bowl win. It's like, oh, all right. And then you had another year where then Aaron Rodgers like, hey, relax, RELAX, and carry us all the way to like the championship game. And then he's like, hey, we'll just run the table. We got all the way to the championship game. So it's like you just when you have that caliber of player just carrying you, you're like, yeah, I'll be fine.
Yep, especially in
nice.
the most important position in my opinion in
Yeah.
professional sports. Straight up, I think the QB is the most important position out of all sports.
That's why even earlier this year, week 1, where like everyone's like, oh, is Aaron Rodgers getting older? It's like, dude, did you watch him just destroy the Bears, like shred them apart? And that Bears team, like, look at them now and how good they are. He shredded them apart like nothing. It was like that Aaron Rodgers could pop out at any second. Like, you don't know.
If you guys had a Sean McVay in Green Bay, I would
yeah.
be terrified of what Aaron Rodgers would do to teams.
That's what I want.
Straight up.
I
Yeah.
think that's what they're going to do next year too. Like I honestly, after this year, I think they will just move on. They're going to.
I hope
one of
so.
those. Yeah.
I think the league's like, as much as I hate Tom Brady, like I think the league's better when you have those like just god level QBs playing. Like I think there are 3 right now, like Breeze, Brady, and Aaron. Although Pat Mahomes is making a pretty good case at God tier right now.
In there.
He's in God tier definitely for this season. I think.
That's like Chris Collinsworth's favorite thing. He's like, oh man, these guys. Oh, man, I just want to just get up there, give him a hug and touch him, feel him up. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh. And now Michael's like, oh, Chris,
Uncle Collinsworth.
I love my whiskey. That's Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah, it's pretty much accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's
transitioning out of that. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, we're transitioning out of that. Could you guys imagine if Nathan Peterman signed with like the Patriots or something?
I would be the most mad.
And he like went on to like become like
the next
good.
Tom Brady.
It would be hilarious.
I don't even think I'd be mad because I feel so bad for Nathan Peterman that I wouldn't even be mad. Even if he shat on me. No, never mind. I'd probably still be mad at him.
Yeah, he'd probably be mad. But you'd feel good for him at the same time.
Yeah.
But
it'd be a good story.
So yeah. Sinvicta Power Rankings.
Thanks, Coach Crendor. Here we go with the Bible of the Internet, the NFL.com NFL Power Rankings for the NFL 11 NFL coach. Now I'm going to give you guys a curveball here, and I'm going to let you have guesses, as many guesses as you want until I say you can't guess anymore.
Right.
There are 3 teams. There are 3 teams who are tied for the biggest movers, as in going up. What are those 3 teams? You have 3 teams that have all moved 4 places up this week.
I think the Titans will get one.
Is that one of your guesses?
Yeah.
That is correct, Coach. Titans move up from 18th to 14th, Coach.
Wow.
I think that's fair.
You got 2 more.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
That's incorrect, Coach. Hate to break it to you. I'm gonna let Rob take over now since Coach got one wrong. You got 2 guesses, Rob. 2 teams that have moved up besides the Titans, 4 places in the NFL Power Rankings on NFL.com.
I'm going to say the Indianapolis Colts.
That is incorrect, Rob, but it's close. They did move 3. They went from 21 to 18. Coach Crendor, you guys got another 2 guesses left before I'm going to break it.
All right, let's go with the Chargers.
That is incorrect, Coach. I'll give you a hint here, Rob. Teams should be near and dear to Coach.
Oh.
One of them especially.
Was it the Bears?
That's incorrect, Rob. You have no idea what you're talking about. Coach Crendor, final guess.
It's the Packers, I take it.
Packers went from a 15th rank to 11, Coach.
Yeah.
They jumped 4. Rob, can you get the final team?
Seems pretty obvious now that you...
Yeah.
I don't even want to give you another guess, Rob, but I'm going to just because I'm...
Well, I thought it was so obvious that it wasn't going to be that. But anyway, is it the Redskins?
Incorrect. It is the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, hey!
The Cleveland Browns jumped up from 26th to 22nd. 4 places with that win over the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Rob, because you and I are used to losing, and because we are used to our team sliding so far down, how many points do you think, or how many places, I should say, do you think the Falcons dropped because they lost to the Cleveland Browns?
I'm going to say 6.
Coach Crendor, your guess?
I'm going to say 4.
That is absolutely correct, Coach. They dropped 4 spots, going from the 12th ranked team to the 16th ranked team. That's what losing to the Cleveland Browns gets you here. To round out the top 3, I don't think it's going to really surprise anyone. That's going to be the Saints at number 1, Chiefs number 2, Rams at number 3, and then followed by the Chargers and the Patriots actually still in the top 5. The Steelers went up from 7 to 6. Panthers only dropped 1 spot. And then rounding out the top 10 are the Vikings, the Bears, and the Texans, 2 of those teams who did not play in the past week. Now, finally here, Coach, before we set it off to pick'ems here, Rob, your Jets, your New York Jets, the Jets, Jets.
Mm-hmm.
What position you got them at?
29, 28 maybe.
Wishful thinking, Rob. Your Jets have dropped 4 spots.
Okay.
And have now moved firmly into the 31st position on the power rankings, only above the Raiders.
That's probably where I'd put him to right now.
Yeah. I can't even really argue it that hard, honestly. I mean, I can't say the Bills are worse than us. They just put up 41 on us. So,
and just for the record, the Bucs dropped from 25 to 26. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the power rankings for Week 11. Back up to the booth with Coach Crendor and analyst Rob.
Let me just do a quick fantasy check here. I'm making some moves this week, dropping Cody Parkey, who lost me 4 points kicking the ball. I would have been better off starting Justin Tucker, getting me 0 than losing 4.
We're not starting a kicker at all, Coach.
Yep, that's exactly. And then Cooper Kupp on the IR. See you later. Off my team. That's fun. Juju Smith-Schuster, I benched. He had 19. I should have played him. But even if I did, I still would have lost. But Nick Chubb got me 36 points. So, I mean,
hell yeah.
Thank God I picked him up when I did.
We're battling out for 7th and 8th place, Coach.
That we are. This is going to be I need to win out right now. I need to start winning, and so do you.
That's not happening. I mean, my fantasy team was done after week 3. I'm pretty sure. If I lost, how would you feel if you lost by 0.18 of a point, Coach?
Oh, I'd be extremely mad.
I'm very mad.
That sucks. Yeah.
Very, very mad. And I can't even be mad at anyone other than myself because I decided to start the Indianapolis defense over Chicago Bears. All because I didn't want that. I didn't want Marvin Jones Jr. going up against my defense because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Hey, my team is the 4th best team in football. Actually tied for 3rd.
Oh.
Yeah. You're 6-4.
Mm-hmm.
Rob goes to tied for 3rd. And for week 11, going over the matchups really quickly here. I'm going up against I eat pupies or puppies, if you want to call them that. So it's 8th place versus 2nd. Nola Nader is going up against Chicken Dash, who hasn't updated his roster since week 1. Mm-hmm. Coach Crendor, you're on a must-win situation here, going up against Swamp Fox. And Rob also has a must-win as well against NG Wolfgamer.
Yeah, I actually play Swamp Fox, and the following week I play Chicken Dashers. That should be a free win. And
that's a free win, yeah. I just got mine.
Yep, NG's Wolfpack right after that, which is another team in the playoff race. So if I can win out, I have a chance to make the playoffs, but I have to win out, no doubt.
Yep. And then you should all of you should be Fairy Swarm fans this week because she is going up against Great Talon, number 1 team. If he loses to Fairy, that's going to shake things up across the board because he would drop to 8-3, assuming that I eat puppies. That the whole playoff table is completely broken now. We don't know what happens then. Because there's so many teams that are in the middle of the pack at 4-6 or 6-4.
Yeah.
With NG Wolfgamer being at 5-5.
Yeah, it's going to be
interesting week, Coach.
Crazy ending to this fantasy football fiesta.
Yep.
And that's our fantasy stuff.
There it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, hold on. Is that how many teams make the playoffs? Is it 6?
I'm pretty sure it's 8.
Wait, is it 8? Hold on.
I think it's 8.
It looks like there's
2 wild cards, it looks like.
Oh yeah, it's so there's 6 teams make it. 2 teams get a bye.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So all right. Okay. Never mind. I'm easily in playoff contention.
You're in the hunt. Yeah.
Well, you're going up. Well, me and you are both in the same boat, Coach.
Oh yeah, but I'll
Maybe
beat you
before.
out. That's easy.
Thanks, Coach. Going on over to Pick'ems. All right.
All right.
Hey, by the way, Sinvicta.
Yes.
In private,
Oh, right.
I linked you something that you might enjoy. Sorry, go on.
Okay.
It's like it's a power rankings thing from like everybody that has power rankings. So
Well, this is not from the Bible of the internet, Rob, of NFL.com on NFL.com.
it actually has the NFL power rankings in the poll.
Yeah, but this is like a compendium. This is too thorough. There's only one book that we need, Rob. There's only one that matters. It's the one on NFL.com.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
Yeah, listen to Coach. Listen to Coach.
All right. Well, it's time for those pick'ems.
Pick'ems.
So we've got the Thursday night game, Packers Seahawks. I'm taking Packers, and I'm really hoping we win because we need it. Ugh.
Hold on, I need to open up the schedules here.
Please don't fumble the ball. Please don't do something dumb. Please just run with Aaron Jones. That's all we got to do.
Ooh,
I
you're
mean,
in Seattle.
Yeah,
The
it's in
Packers
Seattle.
are a good team, Coach. I'm not gonna lie. They are a good team, and I hate the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout, but my official picks still gotta be the Packers.
There you go. Hop on.
It's
gonna be tough.
This is a hard game to call, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say Seahawks.
Oof.
Ooh.
Going against the coach. I don't know if he.
It's a home game in Seattle. They've got the 12th man there.
Excuse me, that's reserved for Texas A&M. Rob, you're not allowed to say that. Thank you.
Wait, don't the Seahawks? I think the Seahawks copyrighted it.
No, A&M Aggies won that one.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Aggies had it way before the Seahawks did.
That's funny.
I'm just checking this real quick. Let's see. Seahawks. They are. How many home games have they played? They've played. Let's see. Away. They won at home. They lost at home. They lost at home. They've actually only won one home game, but they haven't really played many home games. It's kind of weird. They have like a lot of home games down the stretch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. However, I believe their offensive line is trash.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
We can get after Russell Wilson, maybe get some picks, maybe just run with Aaron Jones. If we run, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, if Aaron Jones has more than 15 carries, I think we win. If he has less, we lose.
Okay.
I'm saying
That's
it
fair.
right now. Track it.
All
Put it
right.
on the tracker.
There
Respect.
it is. Tracker.
Respect.
Yep.
There it is.
So yeah, that's that. Bengals at Ravens.
I mean, I gotta take the Ravens, right?
Yeah, coming
I gotta
off the
take the
bye
Ravens.
week, and especially since the Bengals just got shellacked last week by the Saints. Yeah, it's gonna be Ravens, Coach.
It's so weird too, because like looking at that Bengals breakdown, 25th in offense, 32nd on defense, but they're 5-4. What? How?
So I wondered the same thing. So if we go back to the old schedule here, they beat the Colts week one. So it's like then they beat the Ravens in Cincinnati. Then they lost to the Panthers. They beat the Falcons by a point in Atlanta. Then they beat the Dolphins. Then they lost to the Steelers. Then they got blown out by the Chiefs. Then they beat the Buccaneers. Then they got blown out by the Saints. So when they play good teams, they get destroyed.
Yeah.
Seems to be the theme. But they did beat the Ravens in week 2. So you never know.
That's true. You're right. I mean, they did beat them. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still taking Ravens, Coach.
I'm still taking the Ravens too.
They lost Tyler Eifert too, right? Like I think they had him back then.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
So that seems pretty important.
Didn't Eifert just play?
I don't. Did he? Tyler Eifert. I don't
No, I
think
guess
he
he
did.
didn't. No,
Yeah,
you're
he's
right.
he got his leg destroyed. Like, oh yeah, it was against the Falcons. So yeah, they did have him back then, and he was doing pretty well. So I think that is a reason they've gone downhill. So either way, I'm taking the Ravens too.
Long about answer or taking the Ravens.
Yeah. Next up, Cowboys at Falcons. This is a pretty evenly matched battle.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty even. You're pretty easy picking coach. Got to go Atlanta, even though I hate the Falcons. I hate the Cowboys even more. And the Falcons are going to be looking for retribution after this embarrassment that they had, losing to the vaunted Cleveland Browns.
I'm
taking the Falcons.
I got to look at stats for this game.
Rob looking at stats? Never.
Listen, all right.
I gotta know.
I've picked against the Cowboys twice on my lock, and you know what? Because of that, I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I'm going to trust in them for this game.
You know what? Crendor? I'm joining you. I'm taking the Cowboys.
All right.
Cowboys.
There we go.
Because you know what? Atlanta has the 19th ranked rushing defense in the league right now. Yeah. They give up 5.2 yards per attempt.
Oof.
So,
that's going to be an Ezekiel Elliott field day.
Yeah, he's going to feast on that.
But the Cowboys are going to get shredded by Matt Ryan and Julio Jones.
That's why it's such an evenly matched game. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're even.
I feel like this is an easy Falcons pick, but that's just me.
I don't know, man. The Dallas defense is pretty good, and the Atlanta Falcons team does not look particularly great this year.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes, Rob.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So we said with the Patriots Titans. Like, Crendor, pick the Titans. So dumb. Buccaneers Giants. Wow.
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Gonna go with the New York Giants. New York, I think it's an easy play, Coach.
I think I'm gonna take the Giants here too, but I think the Bucs might win, but I don't want to pick them with a coach who thinks he's gonna get fired and feels like he should get fired. So I'm gonna take the Giants.
Trust the Bucs.
I won't
trust the Bucs.
I want to take the Bucs here.
I know, right?
Like I do. Like I think Fitzmagic can fucking destroy them. But
and they get points with that destruction.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah. It's still by the way, the Bucs are still on NFL.com first ranked offense, first in passing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
We scored 3 points, Rob. We scored 3 points last week, Rob.
But it's the Giants, though.
Where's the Giants passing defense?
Yeah, that's a good question. New York Giants.
They're 18th.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great.
But you can't even look at stats for Fitzmagic. Like it doesn't. The stats don't matter for him. It's just whether or not he's drank enough mana potions that day. That's it. That's all it is. There's no way to know. You gotta flip a coin.
Might be the nerdiest thing ever said on a football podcast.
Dude.
Because his name is Fitzmagic, he needed to drink mana pot. Thank you, Rob.
The greatest trick that jocks ever pulled was making nerds believe that football isn't nerdy. It's nerdy as fuck, dude.
Yeah, it is.
It's the nerdiest
fucking
shit ever.
Is it Fitzmagic drinking mana pots nerdy? That's the real question.
I'm gonna take the Bucs. I'm doing it. Fuck it.
All right.
He's doing it.
I'm not
He's doing it, Coach. He's doing it. He did it.
Steelers.
I bet he won't lock it.
I don't think he'll lock it either.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna be locking that one.
Steelers, Jaguars, Steelers for me.
Yeah, it's incredibly easy. Yeah, that's definitely the Steelers.
Yeah.
Don't even have to talk about that one. Texans, Redskins.
Texans.
Gonna be a good game.
That will be.
I'm gonna take Texans too.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Oh
wow!
Damn.
Taking the Redskins.
Ooh.
They convinced me that they are able to withstand the onslaught of Ryan Fitzpatrick, leading them to a 16-3 victory, taking the Skins at home.
All right. Then we got Titans at Colts.
That is really tough.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think so, actually.
I think so too. But I'm gonna take the Titans.
Yeah. Titans seem like a clear favorite for me, but
I'm gonna ride out the Titan train. But then again, they've been like really inconsistent and weird, so it's like, I'm not even sure about my pick, but I'm gonna take them.
That's actually why I am going to take the Colts at home.
Yeah.
But if I lose another Titans matchup, I'm never picking against them again. It's just I'm not doing it in a close game because if they keep winning these close games, then
Seems like solid logic, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we've got Panthers at Lions. I'm taking the Panthers.
I'm going out on a limb. Taking Lions, coach.
You're gonna take the Lions.
I'm taking the Lions.
All right.
Oh,
And it's not because of my deep hatred for the Panthers. I think that the Panthers are rattled and rolled, and they're done.
See,
They're done rolling this season. After that,
I think they're gonna have a rebound game, and they're gonna come back, take down the Lions.
I don't have faith in Cam at all.
So I'm gonna tell you straight up, I'm picking the Panthers, but I agree with Sinvicta. I think there's a good chance that this might be a two game losing streak for them.
I've picked the
they were
Lions 2
demoralized
weeks in a row, and I am not picking them a third week after.
Just in case anyone was not perfectly clear, we know F all about football. Just so we're not basing these guesses on any sort of educated knowledge. All right.
Yeah, we're a bunch of idiots. Yeah,
I'm telling you, don't
stupid.
pick the Lions, man. It's a trap.
I'm taking the
trap.
Panthers.
All right.
I'm sorry, coach. I got to
going
go
Panthers.
against you. Taking the
That's
Lions.
fine. All right. Broncos at Chargers.
Oh, talk about a sleeping horse.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, one of them has a horse.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers here.
Chargers, got to be Chargers.
Yeah.
You know what? Give me some of that sleeping horse. Let's go Broncos. They're coming off the bye week. They're going to be well rested. I think they're going to take this one. It's a divisional game too.
The Chargers are 7-2.
Yeah, but again, do we need to look up
3-6 team?
the Chargers wins? All right, we're going to look at the Chargers schedule again. They just beat the Oakland Raiders. Wow, what an accomplishment.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
They also have another win against the Oakland Raiders. What an accomplishment. The 49ers they beat. They beat the Buffalo Bills. So that's more than half their wins coming against bad teams.
Yeah, and I hate to break it to you, but the Broncos are a bad team. Coach. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying that they're not a bad team, right? I think the Broncos are a bad team.
You're saying they're a better team than the Chargers?
I'm not even saying they're a better team than the Chargers. I think they're going to
Why are you
take
picking them then?
because I think they're going to take a game from the Chargers.
I can see it.
Listen, they played the Texans well. They could have won if they just, knew how to kick a field goal. They were in the game against the Chiefs. They destroyed the Cardinals. All right. They barely lost to the Rams. That's pretty good.
I agree with you. I think the Broncos are probably better than their record, but at the same time, I think the Chargers might be better than their record. That is still a close game between the Chiefs and the Rams, two of the best teams in football, which are the only losses that they've had on the season. I think the Chargers are pretty fucking good.
I think they're good too. I just think the Broncos, divisional opponent, they're coming off the bye, they're healthy. I think they're going to take this one from them, but I don't think they're going to
I'm done.
win
I'm
out
done
or anything.
trying to guess or
They're
overanalyze coaches.
Sleeping horse.
After last week, taking the Titans over the Patriots. I'm not even going to second guess coach, but I don't see the Broncos winning this one. Sorry, coach.
They're going to win it.
Fair.
I'm telling you.
All right.
Raiders, Cardinals. I'm taking Cardinals.
Can we get a Sinvicta for this one? Thank you. Yeah. This is gonna be a great game. This one,
great game.
Might be the ugliest game of football ever played.
Yeah,
it's quite possible.
I'm taking Cards too, but
I'm taking a tie. I don't even care. Taking a
All right,
tie.
there it is.
I
The
get
tie.
5 points if it's a tie. Taking a tie, coach.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Wait. I think Hippo Nora said that if you take a tie and it's not a tie, you still get a tie points or something.
Yeah, you get the attempt for a tie. So there's nothing wrong with going for a tie because it doesn't count as a loss. But also
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you can't be wrong.
It's almost as if it counts as a
tie.
Dude, I'll tell you what. That tie we took, it has us as like the top non-playoff seed right now with all the Falcons, Seahawks, Cowboys, and Eagles 4 and 5. We're 4-4-1.
Yeah.
We got the edge.
Yep.
So yeah, all right. Well, Eagles at Saints.
It's gonna be the Saints, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Saints.
I'm taking the Saints, and I'm locking that in.
Whoa,
I think they're gonna crush the Eagles.
Coach locking it in.
Yep. Eagles are beat up, banged up. Saints are rolling. Give me some Saints.
Oh, I don't know, man.
I know.
Well, the Saints are gonna lose, Rob, but
Oh no, I'm definitely taking the Saints, but I I don't know about the lock. I think it could be an important. I think this game will come down to coaching. I think it'll be between Sean Payton and Doug Peterson dueling it out in this game.
Probably, and I think the Saints will win. So
yeah, I think so too. Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Vikings at Bears.
That's a good game.
this is a trap game if I've ever seen one.
It's a battle for first place game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Vikings here.
I'm gonna take the Vikings too.
I gotta take the Bears at home.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, it can go either way. It's another one of those games.
Yeah, taking the Bears.
That'll be a good match. And the Vikings are also coming out of a bye week, right?
Yeah,
correct.
They're coming out of the bye. So yeah, I think the Vikings are gonna come out. They're gonna be healthier. I think they're well rested. I think they'll take it.
Yep.
Then the
Game
Monday nighter
of the year. Game of the year.
Chiefs at Rams, not being played in Mexico.
That's right. It's been confirmed.
Yeah.
Not being played in Mexico City.
There's a pretty decent chance that this is a preview for the Super Bowl. So
it's possible.
It's gonna be a great game, Coach.
That'll be a fucking awesome game.
Yep.
Yeah. Aside from the fact the Rams will lose in the playoffs to the Packers, but it's possible. It's
I
very
don't
possible.
think it's possible that these two teams can't end the game with there being at least 70 points on the board combined.
It might be. Yeah.
Because neither team plays defense at all.
Yeah.
No,
It's
actually
all
the
high octane offense.
Rams top 15 defense, dude. Like that's actually why I think I'm going to take the Rams, especially since they're at home, because they actually do play defense. They're not like the best, but they play it.
I still got to go Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't agree with you at all, Rob. Sorry, going Chiefs.
That's fair. I really think this game is a toss up, really. But
I mean, I think we can all agree that we're all going to be, no matter who wins.
Yeah,
because we're in for an entertaining as hell game next week.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be really good. Yeah.
So, Coach has his lock of the week for the New Orleans Saints. Robert, Alpaca Patrol. Who you got for your lock?
Who's my lock? Who's that locky? Who's that locky? I think I'm gonna lock. Oh, this is tough. You know what? Actually, I'm locking.
Singing there.
Yeah, a little bit. I think I'm gonna lock the Chargers.
Oh, that's a terrible decision.
Chargers. You think so?
Yeah,
I don't know, mister.
That
That seems like the most obvious win to me this week.
I'm going. My lock of the week is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers at Jacksonville.
Now that's a good lock. That's a good lock right there.
Thank you, Coach.
So
then
that
again,
thinking
back on it, Jaguars actually destroyed the Steelers last year, but that was also last year.
Yeah,
Like, remember that was Big Ben's like 5 interception game.
Yeah.
And they still have those players, still divisional.
Yep.
And the Jaguars are at home.
Yep. But they had a party boat, so they're all drunk and it's gonna
That's a good point. Yeah, no, that's
My
true.
lock of the week remains the Steelers.
All right. Respect.
Okay. Hey. So
There you go.
So there we go. That's
There it is.
week 10. Week 10.
Bum, ba, dum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. Da, 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 da.
All right, we're done.